Okay, supposedly Mike says that we're on here. Hi.
Hi.
I'm working on my new project, so I'm not prepared yet.
I could tell.
But I'm not going to tell you
Michael
what it is.
doesn't know what the new project is. I hope he has nerves of steel. Oh dear, I wish you guys could see the look he's given us.
Oh, here I am. Okay. All right. Mute me. Comments. Excuse me?
I can't see. Oh, I don't have my glasses.
Are you just getting pushy?
I am getting. Oh, look who's talking about getting pushy.
I have it under control.
Joanne's here. Catherine.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
So,
Jackie.
do the comments.
April,
I don't want to do
Wendy,
them.
Sheila,
I just want to
Nancy,
read them.
Lindsay, Mike.
I
Beth.
just want to read them. Oh, what a
Okay.
day.
So, today we are doing freezer meals. And we are making barbecue freezer meals. No, barbecue meatballs.
Balls.
Oops. Oh, lovely. Look what comes up on YouTube. Removing a huge blackhead. Let's watch that, shall we?
But you're supposed to be watching the Living on a Dime thing.
Okay, I'm trying to get switched accounts here. Why blackhead is coming up on my soap channel, I do not know. But it is. Okay, here we are. Yeah.
You can tell we got
We're
it
almost
together
at
today.
30 million views on YouTube. Holy macaroni.
30 million views.
Actually,
How can we do
by
that?
the time this show is over, we'll hit 30 million views. We should do a giveaway.
Oh, I think we should.
I think we
I'm
should.
there with you.
Okay, 30 million views by the time this show is over. We'll do it.
Wow.
That is crazy. Woohoo.
I would do that, but I don't have enough energy.
Two Family Homestead. Hello, Sherry and Daryl, my favorite soapbox and apron makers. Hint, hint. Okay, hello everyone. Mother of many horses. A rare moment you can watch live. Hello, thank you.
I'm not a guy,
Hi,
but I'll
everybody.
say hi.
You're not a guy, but you'll say hi. Ooh, from Saskatchewan. Okay, so we are
Not prepared, if they can't tell yet.
not prepared. But what else is new? No. Okay. So
As you're
today.
about to talk about planning.
Yeah, we're talking about meal planning. We're not prepared.
We said
We're
do
the
as we
experts on planning, aren't we here?
do as we say, not as we do.
Oh, Nora says, love making freezer meals. My first live show. Hi, Nora.
Yay! Okay, so today we are talking about freezer meals, and while we're talking about freezer meals, I am going to be making barbecued meatballs, which is actually one of my favorite freezer meals. I really like it. Now, Mom thinks barbecue meatballs are a pain in the patootie to do, but I like them.
No, I love them. I don't mind them. It's just for me by myself. And if I vacuum seal them up, they'd be fine. But I just... Well, maybe I was going to jump in. Well, I'm waiting for you to get your brain back in order.
I have it together.
I don't have it together.
I'm
I've
starting
gotta
my next new business.
I got to tell my chocolate lovers out there. I think I died and went to heaven. I'm sleeping in my mom's guest bedroom, and I found out where she keeps her stash of chocolate candy. And she keeps bags. What are they, 5, 10-pound bags of candy bars, chocolate candy bars?
She's got 16 grandkids?
16 grandkids?
Great grandkids? I don't know.
Yeah,
16, 20, something
16,
like that. I don't know how many.
grandkids and stuff. And so she has this stash of candy. Well, I found out it's under the nightstand where I'm sleeping by my bed. I just need to reach my arm around and open the door, and I pull out all the candy I want.
Here's what I want to know. You're just now
And my mom said I
figuring this
could.
out,
And my mom said I could.
but you're just now figuring this out. You've been staying in that room for how long?
I know. Well, I knew she had one little stash up on top of it, but I didn't know about the hidden in the door, so...
Who says it? Somebody says, Brenda says, love your reverse matchy. Sure.
Oh, we are! We didn't even do that on purpose.
No, we didn't.
Somebody asked, is that my potato bin over there? No. It's my telephone stand. It's where I keep my phone books and the iPad for recording. And
it's really handy. She has a drawer for
pencils.
pens and pencils and a drop down. It's like a little drop down secretary.
Here. Okay, here, we'll show you real quick here. You guys want to see my house?
You need to clean off the front of it.
Okay, so my phone
Can they see it?
books.
Oh, no.
Oh,
wait a
Hold on
minute.
just a second.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they can see it. I'm
in
sure
the
they
wrong
can.
place. Nope. Here. There we go.
My phone books, my iPad, pencil sharpener, post-it notes, emergency phone numbers here for the kids, pens and pencils. Who markered my thing?
Wonder.
And then under here, recipes that I never use anymore.
Can't see that part.
Yeah. Don't lift it.
I'm not.
There we go.
She keeps
And
her
then
cards
the cards when Grandma and Grandpa come to play.
for games.
And all my towels that I put on my table. I have a towel underneath our salt and pepper thing all the time. So yeah.
You might have to just leave it there. There's potatoes behind it that you're pushing over.
I know. Okay.
Ugh.
So anyway, yeah. And then Candy says, "Thank you for the Works cleaner. It's amazing." Yes, it is amazing. That's my favorite cleaner. You can thank Mike for that. Hello, out of Goshen. Our buds who are traveling around. Yes, I actually still use phone books. Oh, I gotta show you my after Easter deal that Mom got me and Elly got me today. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about going and hitting every Walmart. I think I should.
Those are usually the last things
I know,
that sell.
nobody buys
No,
those.
they don't. So you should.
So
I
I'm
should
wondering-
check by Grandma's too.
Well,
for
that's what I'm wondering if you should run over to Grandma's for me.
I'll do that in my spare time, you know.
Of course. Okay, so today we are going to talk about freezer meals. Now, here's the thing. Mom and I don't really like freezer meals. They're gross.
You like your version of them.
We only like our version of them. And we'll tell you why. Because usually when you get a freezer meal, someone has frozen a casserole and they bring it to your house and you throw it in the oven and it tastes like a watery mess. And it's gross. And I honestly have not had too many freezer meals that weren't my own that were that tasty.
Well, on certain things it changes the texture too. I have a problem with things, the texture being weird, and the water.
You?
Water's separated.
No.
It's smart, Michael, back there. And so it changes the texture of the food. There's ways you can have things more convenient and fast meals without having to always do it in the freezer. Now that, if you love your freezer meals, go for it. But you know,
But we are here to stop the freezer meal
Well-
madness.
but you know, I don't want to sound like a parrot, but I want you to start thinking out of the box. We get on these kicks where everybody's doing this. Oh, it's my love. Oh, I get to be on this side and give love, Mom, today. But we get in these habits, or you know, we hear everybody saying everybody's doing
Yeah.
freezer meals. They're great. They're wonderful. We all need to do it, and you know that's fine. If they work for you, they're great. But what we try to teach people is to think of other ways to do things and tell them that there's different ways to do things. You don't need to be locked in with what everybody else in the world is doing. If they work for you, that's fine, but try something else. That might work for you better. What?
Oh, I love it when I live in people's heads.
Hi, Tammy.
So my cousin said, totally not on the subject, but I was putting away clothes for a change last night and I have so many t-shirts and all I could hear in my head was Tara yelling at me, "Get it together. You do not need that many shirts." Amen, sister. My cousin is doing the typesetting for us on the 2 new books, and she's got both of them going. But this is the thing, guys. Stop trying to organize the 300 t-shirts and get rid of some t-shirts.
Yeah.
I see these closets on Pinterest, and I am not exaggerating. I actually counted one organizing professional's closet. Oh, it was beautiful. She had over 100 t-shirts.
I've seen
only.
that too. Not the same one, but I've seen
For
other
just her.
I've counted them. And the pants, 100 pairs of pants. I'm
Who
thinking,
needs that many clothes?
Mhm.
You don't need that many clothes.
Tracy says, my teen daughter doesn't want me listening to your show anymore because I told her we weren't going to eat out each week because we're going to get out of debt.
Good for you.
Margaret said that was a handy dandy cabinet you had, everything at hand.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it is a
is.
good
It
one.
is. Go ahead, Mom. Back to your rant
What was I ranting about?
about thinking outside the box. Were you done?
Yeah, I was pretty much done. But you know, we're going to give you other ideas just for you to stretch your brain and your mind and do things differently. And you might actually like them better on some of them and find
Yeah.
they're equally as easy. We think that we can only do it this way, that's the only easy way to do it. But you can, it's like everybody drives a Volkswagen. Everybody in the world can't drive a Volkswagen. Some people have to have
nobody can drive a stick anymore.
Well, if you have 8 kids, that's not going to work for you, so you need a van. So what I like to do is give ideas for different people to use different things instead of trying to force yourself into that mold of what everybody else is doing, the freezer meals. That maybe won't work for you, so we try to give ideas.
Dining on a Dime cookbook. Eat better, spend less. Now, a lot of these tips are in here, but we do specifically on page something or another, because I'm prepared, you know. On page 20, 22 and 23, we have our freezer guide, How Long Will Foods Last, which we also have a post on our website. You can go and see how long foods will last. Mike will get that in. And
Is that the one from today?
No, the one from that you were looking at the other day, freezer guide.
Oh.
And then recipes that freeze well out of dining on a dime. Okay? Now,
And we have a leftover section for you to use the leftovers in some of those meals and stuff you need to.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, guys. If you use dining on a dime and you follow our tips, you should only be spending 15 to 20 minutes cooking dinner, period. If you're spending more than 15 to 20 minutes in the kitchen cooking dinner, there is something wrong. You are cooking way too many dishes. You don't need 20 side dishes, or you're making dishes that are way too complicated, and quite frankly, your family doesn't like complicated foods. They really don't.
They want it simple.
Keep it simple. 4 ingredients or less. Our honey baked chicken, our maple glazed chicken, all those are super, super simple, and they're fast. Yeah. They're really, really fast. So
but
get dining on a dime.
Like a roasted, just a regular roasted chicken, you can just throw in the oven, you know.
A roast chicken and a beef roast, I actually timed it. It takes me 3 minutes to make.
Well, can I give my example or do?
Which one?
About how fast it takes me to do a meal when I was working?
Yeah.
Well, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. Even when before my husband left, we started our business and I was working on that too. So I didn't have a lot of time. So 60, 70 hours a week. So I know what it's like not to have much time and have kids and everything. I would take, and this is how I do it. The night before I went to bed, I'd figure out what I was going to have. Let's say it's roast mashed potatoes and a salad and maybe some broccoli. I'm just throwing out, I know those maybe aren't exact things, but just to give you an idea. So the night before, I would take the roast before I went to bed, and usually after supper, I would throw that roast in a pan, cover it with foil, and stick it in the refrigerator. Then the next morning, I would get up, I would throw the pan in the oven and start it cooking, and then I would peel the potatoes. It takes me 3 minutes. Doing the roast took me 2 minutes. It takes me 3 minutes to peel 4 potatoes. I'd put them in the pan, cover them with water, and stick them in the refrigerator. So then when I got home from work, I'd walk in the kitchen door, and I would grab the pan of roast out of the oven out of the refrigerator, stick it in the oven. Did I say that wrong? I think I said it wrong, confused you guys.
I don't know. I was reading comments. I wasn't listening to you.
Well, the morning I put the roast in there, I grabbed the pan of potatoes out of the refrigerator, is what I mean. Set them on the stove to start boiling. I go in, change my clothes, do that, you go to the bathroom, all that kind of stuff, come back in, and then I start setting the table, cut up my salad, and do up the broccoli. That takes me probably 10 minutes time. By that time, the potatoes are almost cooked, and I can start, mashing them. I'm talking a total of 15 minutes to do a pretty good sized meal of mashed potatoes, roast, and a salad.
Yeah.
It didn't take me long. The whole secret is preparing this stuff. You don't always have to do freezer meals thinking it's faster and easier. Granted, you can stick it in the crock pot, grab something out of the freezer, but for something different and for something that really, that we tend to like a little bit better, it's not that hard to do.
Okay, so somebody asked, and I'm looking and I lost your comment, so I don't know who it was, I'm so sorry, but somebody asked, are we minimalists? No. We're not minimalists. We are, get it together and stop making life so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of less stuff than most people, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do,
we do.
But, here's the thing. Part of it is just getting your life organized and under control and getting rid of stuff you don't use or love and stop making things so complicated. When I was working on this post today for freezer meals, I was telling Heidi, our wonderful assistant, love you, Heidi. I was like, why do people do this to themselves? You should see what some of these people are doing on freezer meals. I'm like, people, this is crazy.
It's like another form of chaos. I mean, it doesn't have to be that way.
Don't some of them have all their friends and family come over and get babysitters for the kids?
Yeah, just to make up meals. And we're not minimalists, but you need to keep things under control so that you can do some. If you're going crazy trying to fix meals, you don't have your pantry under control, your dishes under control. You need to get them organized. People spend so much time trying to figure out how to organize their stuff. Just get rid of it. If you're not using it, and you probably aren't. If it's not organized, you're probably not using it. Just get rid of it and just get what you need. You have better things to do with your life than spend taking care of stuff and moving stuff and fixing stuff.
But we want to be minimalists in the sense that we want to eliminate everything that we don't use regularly, right?
Yeah. You get rid of it.
Okay, number 1 tip. Freeze ingredients and not meals. Now, this is probably where me especially, do it different than most people. Mm-hmm. So I will take my... I guess it was wet. Take my handy-dandy Dutch oven here. In case you're wondering, this is a Dutch oven, one of these big ones with a lid. And I will fry up a big old chub of 5 pounds of hamburger here at one time. So I'll throw the whole thing in here and cook it up. By the way, people, remember 70-20 is cheapest. It's the cheapest. Remember our video on that. And Goshen is coming to Colorado.
70-30, right?
70-30.
You said 70-20.
70-30. Where'd that other 10 go? That could not be good. Out of Goshen is coming to Colorado in the next couple of weeks. Yay, guys.
Woo-hoo.
You gotta say
Come on over.
hi. And I will do all of this at once because it takes like 5 minutes more to cook the whole thing versus 1 pound at a time. Then what I do is I drain it off and I put it in sandwich bags. You know, the fold top, we just talked about this, but just in case you guys forgot. You know these little fold top sandwich bags? I will put 1/2 pound portions in these, fold it over, put it in the freezer bag. These are way cheaper than a freezer bag, and put like however many will fit in a freezer bag, and then I can reuse my freezer bag, okay? Go ahead.
No, you can finish.
Oh, so I freeze ingredients before I freeze meals.
Meat freezes better, even cooked, than anything else. That's where we run into problems. Cheese, pasta, it doesn't always quite freeze. The texture changes. That's where the separation comes in with the tomato sauce. It separates. But meat by itself, freezing, cooked like that, freezes really well, and that's what makes the difference. That's why we freeze a lot of the meat that's already cooked, because you save a huge step in your cooking at night when you come home if you got the meat already cooked up and ready. That's the main thing, to have that meat.
This takes probably 75% of your time and slashes it right there.
And if you have the meat cooked up, it's and you haven't planned your meal, if you got the meat cooked up, it's very easy to throw a couple of sides in with the meat, even if you don't have your meal planned. What I do with a thing like that, because it's me by myself, is I will take and fry up some patties, a couple of now I use a vacuum sealer. If you have a vacuum sealer, that's a whole different ball game.
And I have one, but I don't use it because we go through it so fast that
it's not worth it for you.
It's not worth it for me.
But for singles, and 2 people or whatever, the vacuum sealer for some reason makes the things taste, it's not quite the same. It tastes much better than just putting them in a freezer bag. So I take and do hamburger patties. I'll maybe do a few hamburger patties. The barbecue meatballs that we're making tonight, I'll make up some of those and cook those up and put them in a freezer bag. Then I'll have the cooked hamburger done up and things like that for separate meals. So I don't just fry all the hamburger and crumbled hamburgers. I do a little bit of different type meal things, you
Yep.
know, the patties, and you could even do like a meatloaf, cook up a meatloaf, because meat freezes good. So
Yeah.
always freeze meat.
Yeah.
Yes, Michael?
Jennifer's asking, how do you defrost the burger meat after you freeze
I
it?
just peel it out of the plastic and throw it in the microwave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Takes like 30 seconds or a minute.
If you've planned the meal the night before, just take it and stick it in the freezer.
Man.
If you plan the meal like I do the night before, then you just throw it in the refrigerator and it'll be thawed by the next
Or
evening.
if you're like me and Mike's coming home in 10 minutes, you got to figure something out pretty quick. Okay, so some individual ingredients that I freeze. Browned ground beef hamburger. Shredded chicken, so I'll make a roast chicken, peel off all the guts, or all the meat, and leave the bones and stuff and make chicken broth.
When it's cooked.
After it's cooked, shred it all up. Then I'll use shredded chicken for green chili, for chicken enchiladas, a chicken casserole, that kind of thing. Shredded pork, the same thing. I'll make a pork roast, eat it for dinner one night, shred it up, and use it for other meals. Pork or beef roast, the same thing. We make a big roast, 3 or 4 meals. We just did that. What?
Hold on. Denise says it's caramel popcorn day. So
Caramel popcorn
I think you
day.
should make me some caramel popcorn.
I think we should, Dave.
I think they should.
I think we should.
Hello, everyone.
Are you feeling left out because you're not part of the show today?
No, I don't care.
Oh.
No, you don't care. No, you don't care.
And I just found a typo. We don't do chicken breasted in marinade. Well,
On the post?
yeah.
Yes.
We do chicken breasts in marinade.
Oh, I didn't proofread that part.
It's not. So, like, I don't get Zaycon chicken, as you know. Go back and look at that video. But if I go and get chicken at the store or whatever, and I decide to go ahead and get some in some marinades, I'll put those in freezer bags, line them all up, freeze, or chicken, marinade, like 5 minutes, literally, and I'm done. Bananas, chop those up for banana bread, salsa. If I have a garden that year, I'll freeze something like that. Frozen fruits and vegetables, like chopped onions,
If you
peppers.
hit refresh, the typo will go away.
Wow.
I aim to please.
So those are the kinds of ingredients that we do. But if you get your meat cooked, that is like 75%
But
of
let's
the work
explain
done
to you
right there.
what you do then. You just say you want to have tacos. You just grab your little packet of meat out and you're all set to go. Because you can have, with the roast, you know, you can make so many different meals. You can just make beef and noodles. You can make barbecue beef sandwiches because you've got all that right in there ready to go. And it's like having a full meal cooked, really, you know.
Yeah. So let's see. Next, right quick here. Let me just check comments real quick. Okay. So tip number, I'm supposed to be making meatballs, aren't I? Okay. Tip number 2. Okay. You're not going to like this
Okay,
one.
everybody sit down. Take a deep breath.
Take your anti-anxiety pills, whatever you need. But here's the thing. Stop using your crock pot.
What?
I said it. Don't use your crock pot. Now
But if
here's
you
the
like
thing.
mushy food.
If you'd like mushy food, keep using your crock pot. Crock pot is gross food. I heard the gasp. Did you hear the gasp?
Let me add a PS on that. I gotta pull you out of this one a little bit because you're gonna get in
I
deep.
know.
Because I've always preached this. I've always preached it. But I love chili in a crock pot.
Yes.
It's very good.
Bone
Tara
broth.
does a roast with mushroom soup on it that's really good in a crock pot. There are certain things like the freezer that
Like roast?
taste,
Roast, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Roast,
Roast,
soups, broth. Those are the 3 things we eat.
Yeah.
Those are the only
Chili,
3 things.
yeah. And those are really good for a crock pot. So don't get offended because there are certain things. Learn to use your appliances to the best of, you know, what they
Yeah.
do the best with and that type of thing. So.
And here's why. Crock pots make your food mushy and gross. And it's just... It's not tasty.
The thing is, you have to add the vegetables at a certain time. If you don't want the mushiness, you can add them at a different time. But to me, that starts getting a little bit more complicated. You keep doing all these extra things. So in the long run, doing the crock pot isn't always easy if you work hard to get it not mushy and stuff.
Yeah.
So you might as well just do it in the oven.
Yeah.
Now, in the summer, we understand if you live in Kansas, in the summer.
So here's the thing. Here's the times we would use the crock pot. Soups, chilies, roasts, broth, and only in the summer. So 3 months out of the year, you have permission to use your crock pot. But here's the thing, guys. The food in the oven, everyone wonders why Grandma's home cooking tastes so good. She cooked it in the oven. And it tastes better because the oven cooks it so that it's not mushy and gross. Now, here's the thing. We get every Thanksgiving for the last 20 years we've been doing this. We get some people who are the food police telling us how we're going to get food poisoning because we cook our turkey at 275 degrees. Did you hear the gasp? I heard the gasp. Every Thanksgiving and Christmas, we get it. Oh, you're going to die from food poisoning. Oh, you can't do that. Yes, you can. Your crock pot on low cooks at 200 degrees.
No.
I love the sound effect.
Your crock pot on high cooks at 300 degrees.
You are crazy, woman.
So, put it in the oven and cook it at 250 or 300 degrees in the oven.
It's the same as the crock pot.
It will taste 100 times better. And you don't use as much electricity. Mom researched it. Go to dollarstretcher.com. One of our friends, Gary Foreman, he's been with us since the beginning 20 years ago. He did a whole article on it. And your crock pot actually uses more energy than your oven for most ovens.
Tell Gary hi if you go to his site.
Because the reason for that is because people just can't wrap their mind a small crock pot not using as much energy or using more than a big old oven. What happens is your oven is very thickly insulated. And so it gets up to 350 degrees and that oven shuts off. And it sits in there cooking the food until it starts dropping down a few degrees and it turns on. And you may not think it sits there off for very long, but I accidentally turned the oven off this year baking gingerbread men. I forgot I turned it off. And 10 minutes later, I forgot and had to put more cookies in. Come to find out, the oven was still the same temperature, the 350 that I was using to bake the cookies, 10 minutes later. So the oven fluctuates on and off the temperature, so it's not using electricity, a steady flow of electricity, because it shuts on and off for a long period. The crock pot, on the other hand, uses strong electricity constantly and never turns off because it's not insulated. And so they have shown over and over studies that the crock pot is not cheaper on electricity than an oven. Oh dear, are we getting lambasted?
Ray loves Mike's comments. See what I have to live with? See? Yeah.
I'm not sure what LaDiana is asking about. What about gas stoves? They're okay for
I
cooking.
don't know. I think it's the same. Actually, I don't know on gas stoves. I'll have to go look at Gary's thing. I do know on the electric it is a lot cheaper though.
Because they're so insulated.
Teresa, Grandma's cooking was good because it was from scratch, no boxed anything. Actually, that's not true, Teresa. I hate to tell you, but my grandma's, my great grandma and my grandma, as soon as they had prepackaged everything, that's what they used. They used prepackaged pudding, they used prepackaged noodles, everything was prepackaged, and I'll tell you why. Because cooking from scratch for a lot of things can be a real pain. And my great grandma was like, why would I make homemade bread when I can go get it at the store for 50 cents?
Well, and I've used this example, some of you have heard me use it before. My husband's grandmother, Tara's great grandmother, she everybody loved her homemade noodles. That she cut them up, she made them from scratch. She did that for years. Well, at one point she changed over And it was getting to be too much, and they came out with the frozen egg noodles. So or I guess that's what they are.
Yeah.
And so she started substituting those for her homemade noodles. Nobody realized she'd changed from her homemade noodles to the frozen packaged one. So when we got married, my husband raved about Grandma's homemade noodles. So I asked her, I said, what do you do? Can I get the recipe from you so I can make these homemade noodles from scratch? And she said, don't you dare tell anybody else. But she said, I've been using frozen bagged noodles for years and they never knew any difference. So, you know, you got to really kind of, some of these things aren't always, you got to think about them a little bit, you know, and do some figuring on them. So.
And Kelly says she cooked their turkey like we do, and it's the best she's ever had.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, I have a turkey in the freezer. It's going in tomorrow because I need to just get it used up from, it can go longer, but I need the freezer space. So I'm putting a turkey in tomorrow.
And you know, on that turkey, Tara talked about the 200 and some odd degrees, and people think,
Catherine only cooks it that way too.
I know, it's really good.
It's good.
And I cooked mine at 150 degrees. So if you, for years
Yeah.
and years and years and years, that's what I always cooked mine at.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not saying, guys, in the summer, I totally get it. I lived in Kansas. I'm not saying don't use your crock pot.
That's why
in
we
the
say
summer.
use crock pot
But,
in the
and
summer.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
And there are a lot of things you can use it for.
Listen to what I'm saying. We already mentioned that. So just chill out, guys. We already mentioned that.
We have 2 questions about things that you were talking about already. Diana is asking, how do you cook the chicken in the marinade? Do you cook it while it's frozen or defrost it first?
You can do it either way.
You can do it either way, but usually since I don't plan ahead very well, I peel the plastic off and throw it in there.
And Angela's asking,
That's how I do it.
when you strain your ground beef, do you run water through it? And she's wondering if doesn't that take the taste away?
It takes a lot of the fat, but when you're using 70-30, it leaves some of the fat in there, so I don't think it does, but I don't know.
I never strain mine.
Yeah.
I just drain it really, really well,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
A lot of people are talking about peeling and slicing bananas and putting them in a baggie. Some people just throw them in there with the scales on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie is asking, what do you think about pressure cooking in the Instapot? I knew you would love that one. So.
Pressure cooking in the Instapot.
Okay. Well, I have to say, first let me answer Gina's question. Yes, you can cook your turkey frozen. I've done it 1,000 times. What I do is I just peel it off, throw it in there. About an hour or 2 in, the inside is defrosted enough so that I can take out the guts, and then I take out the guts and keep cooking it. So I defrost my turkey in the garage.
What?
I know.
Isn't that dangerous?
We are in Colorado, guys, so it's not like we're down
The
in the
garage
Bahamas.
is colder than her refrigerator.
And my garage never gets above 40 in the winter, so I do it out there. Otherwise, I do it in my refrigerator. So.
Ooh, Charmaine says hello from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, wow.
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 M. Knits, Tara's chocolate pudding recipe is best.
Well,
Is
thank
that the
you.
one in the, is that the one in the Dining on a Dime cookbook?
Oh yes, Dining on a Dime cookbook right there. Thank you, dear. Good plug there. Eat better, spend less. Okay, so let's see. Where were we at? We were talking about cooking in the crock pot versus the oven and all of that.
One more thing on that, to show the difference how these different appliances cook differently. Cook a baked potato in the microwave, and then stick a baked potato in your oven, and you can tell. That's one good way of texture. You can tell how it makes a difference. Now we're talking about crock pot tonight, but that's why I say you need to learn to use all these appliances.
Yeah. Oh, the
best.
Instant Pot. I forgot. Okay, I will
She
say.
tried to forget it.
I will say. I went and visited our friend Alderman Farms in where are they at? Mississippi? No, Mississippi. I think they're in Louisiana. They're in Mississippi.
Far north Louisiana, above the Mississippi border.
In Mississippi. Now, she has the Instant Pot cooking down, and she has a great Instant Pot ebook. Run over to aldermanfarms.net and get her ebook. It's only $5, a really good deal. But here's the thing. I would have to say, if I were to buy an Instant Pot now, I wouldn't do it. And I'll tell you why. My kitchen isn't that big, and frankly, I don't have anywhere to put it. And I am not going to leave that hunkin' thing on my counter all the time. That would drive me crazy. But I could see how it would be really good for like the summer when it's really hot out and you don't want to turn on your oven. Like down in Mississippi where they're at, it gets really hot in the next couple of weeks. And so I can see how that would really help them. But, and I may get one, but I don't know where I would put it. And to me, it's just another thing to
One thing
have
too,
around.
I am frugal enough that I can't afford to buy all these different small appliances. When I can get the same effect out of my oven, you know, and something like, or like a crock pot in the summer if I have to use a crock pot. But even that, I haven't had a crock pot for years. I used to. But you start buying all these different appliances that I use a hand mixer that I paid not very much for. Most people have these gigantic KitchenAids, and we'll have to get that discussion some other time. You know, but I can make do with that, and you can do all these things without all this cooking without all these major appliances. I guess what I'm trying to do is, if you don't have the money for this stuff, don't go buying this stuff. Just thinking it's going to make your life so much better, because it can really work. You can work with what you have with this stove, you know, and the microwave and that. Yes, Michael?
Sorry, I had a number of things. First of all, I didn't realize, but Jennifer said I have your chocolate pudding chilling in my fridge. I was so excited. I know how to make pudding now.
It's good, isn't it? And here I'm talking about how Grandma used to use box puddings, but she did.
And
so.
we say, you know, cooking from scratch, that's a good thing to cook from scratch. You can tell the difference in the taste. Type
What
of thing.
is with my hair? My hair is sticking up and it won't go down.
I was just about to tell you, Shannon says, Tara and Jill, you both look lovely tonight.
Oh,
thank you.
And a different Shannon says, gorgeous mama and daughter team.
And Donna says, hey, I just bought an Instant Pot. Don't pat me on it.
I got 3 more. Jennifer said, ooh, I didn't know ovens turn off when the oven turns off on its temperature. You guys are awesome. I learned so much. And Kelly says, I love to hear the food poisoning police voice again.
Yeah.
But see, the secret is research this stuff. You know, I thought, everybody says crock pot saves money, and I thought, I wonder if it really does. So I researched this. And you know, need to go to several different places. Don't just go to the one that you think is going to agree with you. Go to all the different places and then put them together, the information.
Yeah. And Jackie, if you had a turkey from 2014, I wouldn't eat it. It's going to be freezer burned.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Toss it.
Yeah.
Rebecca says, blew my family away at Christmas with Tara's low temp roast.
Oh.
Yay. Okay. All you Instant Pot people, calm down.
Oh, are they all
Calm down.
She liked it a lot better at Alderman Farms.
Here's the thing, guys. Like I said, Patty at Alderman Farms has it down and she loves it. But for me, I am not going to lift that thing up and down, in and out of a cabinet, if I had a cabinet to put it in. And I don't. I don't have anywhere to put one. Now, you asked my opinion. This drives me crazy. People ask my opinion, and then when I give it, they get all upset.
I'm glad you put the knife down.
That's just my opinion. Now, maybe if I had a bigger kitchen, I might get one. But like I said, you know,
guys, use this stuff if it works for you. That's what we're trying to get across to you. We're just trying to give other ideas for people who don't have one. Well, am I missing out in life because I don't have an Instant Pot? No, probably not. You know, if you want one, if you have the money to buy one, if you love it, if you have a big enough kitchen, all those factors, get you one if that's what you want, you know.
Yeah.
So we're not like saying don't ever do. We're not these people that try to cram our opinion down your throat. So
woo! I got the Instant Pot people all upset.
You might have already answered these, but Jenna is asking, can you cook a turkey from frozen?
Yeah, I answered that.
Oh, did you? And
Yep.
Wendy asked if you ever buy a rotisserie for chicken pie.
Yes, rotisserie chickens are $5 where I'm at. I say use them all you can. I just don't live in town, and we have to drive 20 minutes each way to get to the closest place. So.
Uh-oh. Donna and Cheyenne says, after seeing the roast you guys made at Alderman Farms, I bought an Instant Pot. I'm willing it, so don't badmouth the store. We need to come see you, Donna.
Okay, so, and everybody's saying they love their KitchenAid. Okay, we're not going to get into the KitchenAid thing right now. We got to keep moving on. But
that's another whole
let's
video.
just say my KitchenAid is sitting on the floor over
and
there.
David had to lift it up and put it over there for
Mike
us.
has a money-saving tip about the 2014 turkey. If you throw it in the trash, you'll save $8,000 on medical bills. Saved you a bunch right there.
There you go. See, Mike just saved it for you. Okay, our last tip.
Yes, Lisa, my mom loves her toaster oven, and I used to use one all the time. Now, see, that's my point. My mom uses her toaster oven constantly. you find appliances that really work for you really well. You've got the space, the room, and everything. And use them. Use them to the best of, that you want.
Yeah. Okay, so tip number 3, and I am going to cut a little bit of soap. I made soap behind your back yesterday.
What?
But I had to make it because it's for my brother. And Mom needs to take it home, so I had to get it done. Okay. I have so many pet peeves. I need to just deal with my pet peeves.
Yeah, you need to. I agree with that. Don't you, Michael, agree with that?
See what happens
we
when
agree
Mike
on
is
that,
not
don't we,
next to
Michael?
The whole show goes lopsided.
I know, it does.
Okay, stop doing big freezer cooking days. Go ahead, dear. Waiting for your commentary.
You're
gasp.
smart. Your gas.
That wasn't very good.
No, you gotta do it again.
Hold on. Wait. Here we go.
I go.
Stop doing big freezer cooking days. Very good. Okay.
But how would I have my social experience with my 18 friends that I need to help me?
If you guys, can they hear what you're saying?
The mic's right there.
Oh.
So here's the thing. When we first heard about people doing freezer meals, this was about 17, 18 years ago. And I was watching a particular blogger who's still around today, actually. And she was just loving the freezer meals, going every week. Freezer meal this,
okay,
freezer meal
Tara
that.
was almost in tears because she didn't know what she was doing wrong because she couldn't do this.
And I was like, okay, what am I missing out? So this lady brought in her friends and siblings.
Well, let's go back though a step. She said, I do all of this in so many hours. And
She said, I make 25 freezer meals in 4 hours. And I'm like,
how can you physically do this?
Well, and
for one person to physically do this.
That seems like a lot of work, but that seemed like an awful huge waste of time to me. And I was just like, okay, if I'm calculating in my head right, that's still the same amount of time I cook just doing my regular meals. Well, come to find out, she had siblings coming in, she had friends coming in. There was like 4 to 5 women in the kitchen for 4 hours.
With babysitters for the kids.
And they got babysitters for the kids. And they got 20, 25 meals made. And Mom and I are just like, are you kidding me? And she did this all the time. People are freezer mealing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
They are. Have you guys
Seriously?
seen that? Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
It takes me 30 seconds to make Jack's peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you're having to freezer meal peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, your life needs an overhaul. There is something wrong. I am dead serious.
Yeah.
You are doing way too much if you are having to do freezer peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. You're overscheduled. You're unorganized. Something's wrong.
I am very organized, but I can still manage to get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches made in less than 3 minutes for 5 people. Okay? This is not rocket science.
Maybe it needs to be. Maybe it needs to be.
So, here's the thing. What I do instead, because of course I'm all-knowing and I do that. But I'm going to show you what I do instead. So, what I do instead is I will freezer batch cook 1 to 2 times a week. So, like tonight, I am having...
I thought you were going to hit your thumb like that.
Stop that.
Well, I had to open it.
Michael cringed over there too.
Anytime Tara picks up a knife,
I know, I do too.
So, what I will do...
Mike and I are traumatized with Tara
I'm sorry.
knives.
So what I'll do is I will just...
What's she doing? That poor hamburger.
Well, I'm just taking it out. Is I will freezer batch
I don't want to touch
things
it.
like barbecue meatballs. Okay? So here... Oops, I need 1 more egg, Mike. I got 2 eggs instead of 3. So... It doesn't take me any more time to freezer batch meatballs. It takes me like 5 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll make the meatballs for tonight's show. And then And what am I doing?
You splattered egg on your leg.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, oops, sorry.
Where's the dog when you need him?
Yeah, where's the dog when you need him?
Clean up your mess on the floor. And so I'm going to have meatballs tonight. So what I'll do is I will do my recipe for tonight, and then I will just make up the meatballs and freeze them extra for another night. So if I do this once a week, if I double a recipe once a week, then I can go in and use it the next week or week after, and I only have to cook 1 to 2 nights a week.
And like with this recipe, you could almost get 3 meals.
Oh, I'll probably get
3
4
or
out.
4.
Yeah, I'll get 4 out of this one. Yeah.
So
I'll get
she'll
4 out
get
of this
4
one.
meals out of this one.
Music Matt is asking what's the difference between an Instant Pot and her electronic timed pressure cooker. Pretty much
It's
the
the
same
same
thing.
Probably the
thing.
same thing.
It's probably just a different name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same thing.
Apparently, a couple people are asking if we're going to have a Mother's Day book sale. You just did. Sorry.
Well, I sort of didn't plan very well. Big surprise. Let's see, a Mother's Day book sale. Probably it'll be, we're having another sale next week on a homemaking bundle that we really like. So we'll probably do that next week. So probably the week after next, yeah. We'll probably have to do it priority mail, but yeah.
One thing about this meatball recipe, this barbecue meatball recipe, what makes this recipe different and really, really good, you can make this recipe faster and use just regular canned that you bought in barbecue sauce, but it's the barbecue sauce in this recipe that makes it really, really good.
Yeah.
It makes it totally different from any other barbecue meatball you've tasted. Really, I don't know what it is about the barbecue sauce, but it's extra good. And if you have extra leftover barbecue sauce from this recipe, you can use it as regular barbecue sauce for other things.
Yeah.
Ellen is asking who has the sourdough recipe book. That's
Go check out aldermanfarms.net, ALDERMANS.net. And actually, I have a sourdough video coming out tomorrow of her showing how she made it. So, yeah. So run over there and get it. Okay, so then what I do, just a second, let me wash my hands. Then what I do, I forgot my apron today. I ran out of foil. So here's my foil stash. See how nice and lovely that is? It just stands on the side of my cabinet. So I'm picking out of my foil, but, oh, that was kind of big.
This is foil, like if she'd wrapped up maybe a dinner roll or something to warm it up, she reuses it. You know, not with meat, not with something like that, but this is stuff that...
So, as I was researching this, I saw all these women who were buying these foil pans.
Uh-oh, Mom's about to go on her massive rant. Get it
Just
together, people.
line your regular pan with foil, guys. You don't need to be going and getting special pans. Then...
Why buy stuff to throw away when you don't need to?
I know. So then what I do, like if this was a casserole, like not a casserole, like an enchiladas, like if I did freezer enchiladas, then I would line the bottom, line the top, pop it in the freezer, get it frozen, pull it out, and just keep it in the freezer in a freezer bag then. And so then you don't have to worry about buying pans and all that
It's
kind
the
of
same
stuff.
shape as the pan,
Yeah.
so when you're ready to cook it, you just put it in the
Yeah,
size
just
pan
take it
that you
out
had
and put it
in.
back in there is all I do. So anyway, that's what I do for the freezer meals is I just double or triple or quadruple a recipe. And then I will use that later, freeze it, use it later. I'm not wasting my energy on a big freezer cooking day and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were needing, what was the number?
Oh, the bonus tip. What's my bonus tip?
I don't know.
Oh, that is my bonus tip. To use the foil instead of buying.
I want you to think about this too. Like she's, let's say, if you have your cooked chicken in the refrigerator, keep a bag of frozen vegetables in the refrigerator. They have diced potatoes now, like diced hash browns that are frozen. You can keep those in the refrigerator, and you could take and come home and put those and make a chicken pot pie with your diced potatoes, your frozen vegetables, and your frozen chicken. And it doesn't take any time at all just to grab a couple of hands full of that stuff, stick it in the oven, and bake it, really quickly. You've got everything kind of prepared. This is the way you can use some made from scratch stuff, like you made the chicken from scratch, but you can use convenient foods to go with that. And that you don't need to do these meals all the time. This is when you're in a hurry. You can have these for the nights that you're in a hurry and use the convenient foods. What happens, why we talk about using these frozen foods like this is because people are going out to eat because it takes too much time, too much trouble. When you're starting to not go out to eat anymore, use the convenience foods, and that'll help you get in the, and then you can start cooking from scratch. We're not saying not cook from scratch if you got the time, but until you learn these things step by step, take them slowly, and then you will start building up. Pretty soon you'll be organized enough you can make a chicken pot pie without having to use the freezer stuff, or maybe just using the frozen vegetables and chicken.
Yeah.
So this is a good idea. Gwen said, I've been cooking meals and freezing. I'm having surgery at the beginning of May and want to have good meals ready.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and so like when you're doing something like that, don't do a big freezer day. Just double cook everything you're going to be eating for, for a month or however long, and then you'll have a month's worth of meals. It's like Mom's tip on saving hamburger. She would take out 2 tablespoons of hamburger every time she would cook hamburger when we were living on $500 a month. Go check out Penny Pinch and Mama series if you didn't see it. And then at the end of a couple of weeks, we would have a full meal out of that 2 tablespoons of each meal.
And I didn't even do anything, but just had a container. I kept throwing it. You can do that with vegetables too, keep throwing the vegetables in.
And here's another tip. Did you know that barbecue meatballs and meatloaf is the same recipe?
Yeah. That's what I said earlier. You could take this hamburger and make it up into small mini
make
meatloaves,
it into meatloaves
or you can
whatever.
That's how I do it. I do the meatballs or small meatloaves, the hamburger patties. Yep. And I use the same pan to fry all of this stuff in so that I don't have a lot of dirty dishes for cleanup and that type of thing.
I'm just doing meatballs for now just because we feel like eating meatballs, but
And these meatballs too.
Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do some
meatballs, if you don't put the barbecue sauce, you can use them for spaghetti. You can use them for all different kinds of things. You don't have to just use them for barbecue meatballs.
Christine has a point that I think you've had before. Is I use disposable pans when I bring meals to people.
Yes.
Well, now that's totally different.
Use disposable everything when you take meals into people. Make sure you do that. Take them paper plates. Take them silverware, napkins.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that with Grandma the other day. When people have a funeral or something, be sure to take the disposable items like that. It makes it easy. You can go to garage sales and you can get really inexpensive casserole dishes and things like that you can take, the meals to, and say just, keep the bowl or do whatever you want.
Go to the thrift store. They have reusable containers even all the time at my thrift store. Just buy those. Use your sour cream containers if you need to. Just make it easy for them. Put your salads in your sour cream containers and your yogurt containers and stuff like that, and make it easy for them.
And we were talking about, now this isn't even on subject, I'm sorry guys, but we were talking about people always bring dinner in, so people have a lot of dinner meals. With my dad being sick, he's been getting a lot of meals in. But what people don't think about, start taking maybe some cinnamon rolls for breakfast, or
baked oatmeal or something
like
that.
Muffins, or English muffins. Take breakfast items in for them too, because my folks are having trouble trying to think of what to have for breakfast in the morning and that type of thing. So all those things are good ideas for bringing meals in. Yes, Michael?
Simply Joyful says, I make meatballs and meatloaf in my muffin tins and freeze.
Yes.
Yeah.
And M. Knits says the same thing, but she says, put a meatball in it, topped with mashed potatoes and cheese and freeze.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Really good. And see, when you do that, you don't have a whole lot of stuff like a big casserole with lots of noodles, so that tastes really good. Yes, Michael?
And just to kind of repeating what you said, Emerance is saying just prep ingredients and then you can assemble at the time, dump into a pot on the stove.
Exactly.
You can also mix and match better when they're separately frozen.
Yes, you can. And portion control, by putting them in the muffin tins, that's good portion control.
Yeah.
For...
So I have, out of 5 pounds of hamburger, I just made at least 4 meals. We usually never eat a full meatloaf, so probably 5 meals out of 5 pounds of hamburger, and that took me less than 5 minutes to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So right there.
Yep.
Kathy was wondering if the meatballs were going to be really greasy because you didn't pre-cook and drain the meat.
So with the 70%, they are a little bit greasier, but it's not.
It's
so
not
much
bad. What people don't realize, all that grease cooks out of them. If you lift them out of the pan as soon as they're done baking, there's rarely very much grease left on them. It's hard. You got to get your mind around the fact that most of the grease cooks out, and it works out like that.
Yeah.
Another one, Michael?
I'm sure I have more if you're ready for that.
Yep.
Well, first of all, earlier people were asking if it's cold here because both of you are wearing sweaters.
It's snowing.
Because they were saying some of people were saying it's 85 degrees where they live.
It's snowing.
Take over for a minute.
It was 26 degrees when I picked the kids up from school, so I know the exact temperature, so it's cold outside, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Uh-huh.
Kelly says, these are my favorite shows. I'm eating a bowl of popcorn and laughing and cheering Tar on. And Denise says, better than a show on TV and live.
Oh, I love our viewers. I can't type fast enough to tell you guys when I'm at home typing how much I appreciate you guys. I really do. And it's fun. It's really fun.
You never tell me that.
No, I don't tell you. I do too tell you that. What do you mean I never tell you that?
Okay, so guys, I got my raspberry and lilac soap up on Etsy. So if you're wanting to buy that, but...
Michael, paste that link in. Oh, hey, by the way, since Tara's away for a second, if there are any links that you're missing but you want to find, you can go to livingonadime.com and click show notes, and it will take you to all the links that I'm sharing today.
Yep. All right, so while we're finishing the last questions, I'm going to cut my brother's. Guess what kind of soap this is?
It's super soap.
It's super soap. And I'm super excited because my new mold liner worked really well. And I think I found a solution to my reusable mold liners. I'm super excited.
Okay, I just had to share. Victoria says, my boys 12, 12, and 8 love watching you too.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah.
Hello.
We love that. Hi, guys.
Okay, let's see what it looks like.
Angela says, Jill, you're the best. Great to see you. Oh, hey, do I need
Oh, thank you.
Let me see if I got that.
Is your brother watching?
I hope
no,
not.
He won't be watching.
Is that Superman?
Let me
That's
see.
Superman-y.
You didn't get the little logo there in the middle of it? I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm just joking. It was a joke.
It's a good thing you're over there tonight, Michael, instead of next to her.
Tommy Alderman is going to have to add
I was just channeling your troll.
to his marriage tips.
You mean after Mike gives him the extra advice?
Okay, so my colors didn't turn out as deep. I think maybe it didn't gel as much. It didn't get as warm as I was hoping it would. They should have been a little bit deeper, but they weren't. But that's okay.
He'll love them.
He can suck it up. He's my brother.
I was telling Elly today about Tara's cooking when they first got married and stuff, and she made hamburgers, barbecued hamburgers one time at her house and invited her brother and sister-in-law and everybody over for hamburgers.
Oh, no.
Well, she showed up with a platter of hamburgers on the, I don't know if Michael remembers this or not. Okay, those hamburgers, no joke, were the size of a $50.
I don't do very well on
about
grilling.
1.5 inches in diameter, and they were black, and they were very, very hard. I
They
mean,
were like hockey pucks.
and her brother's very, very laid back, and he just opens his hamburger bun like nothing's wrong here. I mean, everybody else is gasping and looking at these things, trying to figure out what we're supposed to do with them. But he opens his hamburger bun, and he lays one little patty on there. He picks up a second little patty and about 3 little patties, and he puts the bun lid back on as if nothing's wrong. We're all looking at him, what he's doing, as if this is normal for his sister's cooking. But
the grill and I are not one very much.
No, it's not.
Amy says, I was just at Goodwill looking for your cookbook and can't find it there.
That is good. That means people aren't getting rid of it. Thank goodness.
Seriously, you'll save your money the first trip to the grocery store.
Yeah,
Everybody does.
Most people, I don't think we've had anybody say they don't.
We've had 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay,
In 20 years, 3.
20
Although some of our friends overseas have found them on Amazon because they couldn't get them here.
That's
you have
true,
to be
yeah.
pretty serious to find one there.
Yeah.
Cheryl says, hey Jill, that's one of my favorite things to do when bringing meals to friends in need, having something for breakfast. Love that you shared that.
Yeah. People forget about the breakfast and snacks, food. Well, I'll tell you a real tip. My neighbor, her husband passed away about a year ago. And I was over there at her house quite a bit with people coming in and out, and they were bringing lots of food. But somebody had brought like 3 big bags of M&Ms, and they put it in a big bowl. That was the most popular thing at the, with everybody coming in and out, that bowl of M&Ms, because it's a comfort food. Right, chocolate people? It's a comfort food.
Absolutely.
But, they love that. They love digging in. People would go over and get their handful. And I don't know, that was so different. And I thought that was really a good idea. It didn't take much work for the person that brought it. It was something very simple and different. So there's lots of ideas like that.
Sorry, go ahead.
So Out of Goshen, are they still on there? Maybe not. But Out of Goshen is going to all these homesteads and going to be practicing their homesteading. Should we put them in the backyard and have them practice on our yard?
Yeah. That would be interesting for them.
It would be interesting.
Margaret says that is a great brother. What did you say about your brother?
Oh, being so calm about our hamburger patties.
Oh.
He didn't say anything. He just calmly put them on his bun like this was normal.
And in case you were wondering, this is why I turned the last one backwards, so it'll be forward when it's done. So that's the Superman soap. The really red didn't turn as really red as I was hoping.
Your brother's just going to
But
love
my
that
brother
pink.
is secure in his manhood.
He can handle the pink.
Susanna was wondering about the meatballs. When your kids were little, did you give them just one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then if they wanted more, I would give them more, but they had to eat everything on their plate first.
Yeah.
And I only gave them, like, if it was green beans or whatever, 1 or 2 tablespoons and, like, a quarter cup of rice. Don't fill their plates all the way up to the top. But they did have to eat everything on their plate first before they could get more of the food they liked. Because I'm just mean and cruel.
I was talking to my brother last night. We were laughing and joking how our mom made us eat eat vegetables and stuff like that. And my brother said, we got really good at throwing that stuff under the table. And I said, yeah. And people ask all the time, how do I get picky eaters to give it up? They probably won't, because I would take and stuff when she caught us putting it underneath the table and got in trouble. Then I would stuff it back in my cheeks and say I have to go to the bathroom, and I'd go in and spit it out. In my brain you'd think I had that food and taste in there. Why didn't I just swallow it? It would be just as easy. But anyway, yes, Michael?
Brenda asked, if all of it for your brother, I would love a few bars for my son. He's redoing his guest bathroom Superman theme. Wow, he sounds almost as serious as your brother.
He does.
Email me how many bars did you want. I may give some up. He doesn't need 16 bars of soap.
Yes, if they're Superman, he thinks he does.
He'll probably get a shelf and line them up.
He will.
Okay, we have to tell you guys about the house offer they got.
Oh.
I was just like, you're glad I wasn't there. So
they're selling their house. They got like 14 showings in 24 hours.
Yep. So offer number 1, the people at all these showings, offer number 1 goes 15 below their already good asking price. And they're like, no way. So then they get an offer last night. So tell them.
Well, they were saying they had this whole
The people
packet.
spent an hour and a half there.
They wanted them to put all brand new siding on. They had a keypad for their door going into the garage, a locking keypad. They wanted them to change that out. What else? I can't think straight.
They wanted
them to give them $300 to paint one of the rooms.
Paint the Superman room.
They didn't want them to paint it. They wanted to get them to give them $300. Yeah. I mean, there was just a huge list that they went on. Yeah. All these little nitpickety things, and it's like I was telling Tara, and we were talking about it. If you want to buy a new house, you need to pay a new house price. You don't go into a used housing area and start. And they have a beautiful house. They have a really nice house. And start wanting them to update everything in there for you, you know.
So I told Mom, I said they should have written a note back here. I'm going to get a
You
picture
should
of the
see
Superman.
The pictures.
Um,
Oh, those pictures
I
are
know.
so good.
Didn't it turn out good?
Oh my goodness. I
So-
wish you could see this house. It is beautiful.
I told him, I said they should have wrote a note back that says, April Fool's was 5 days ago. Stop wasting the seller's time. Oh, whoops. Wait, my Superman picture went. Okay, so here's a picture of my brother's Superman room. Can you see it?
Oh, sorry. Let me switch. I'm sure they can, but let me look just to see. Oh, yep. Wow.
So, and that's after everything's been
after we
cleared
took everything
out.
out. We took everything out of there. It's all at my house. We took everything out.
That was after
I
everything
took-
we cleared out.
What did I take? 10, 12 carloads packed full of boxes of Superman stuff. So
Yeah.
There are a bunch of comments here. Oh,
Brenda, my sister's a realtor. It's ridiculous what some people want. Yes.
Oh.
If you're selling your house, stand your ground.
did you see what
Well-
Rosemary said? Right above
No.
it. Right above it, she says, "It's a yes, Jill. It's a used house. The
Yeah.
buyer wants all that. Buy a new house."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
show them another picture of the living room maybe, or the family room on, so they can see what it looks like. Because I sold a house one time, the stove did not work, and I told them the stove didn't work, and they wanted me to put a new burner on it.
So there's the outside. You can see how nice the outside is. My sister-in-law just repainted it. Okay. So then, let's see. Hold on. Oh, well, here's their backyard. Hold on.
What? That's ridiculous. Sounds like a past home experience I had.
There's their backyard. Okay. So then,
That is all their property that goes
Yeah.
out into the lake.
She's got dogs is wondering, are they in a buyer's market?
no.
It's not a buyer's market?
Mm-mm. There's their living room. And, well, here's a better one of their living room.
They've got a beautiful fireplace. Huge family room. Huge.
Yeah.
It's a 4-bedroom house with
Yeah.
3 bathrooms.
And then here's, hold on.
Shayla's gonna love you showing your
I know.
pictures.
Here's their basement. They have a huge basement right there. So anyway,
And this was these people were nitpicking everything. in
that's what they
there.
were nitpicking.
Yeah, yeah.
the place is immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
And
What?
Knit says, my son just told me he's craving barbecue meatballs now.
There you go. I'll make the barbecue
You've
sauce up
got
when
to
we're done.
try
but
this barbecue sauce. It is like
It's really
nothing
good.
else.
Oh, where'd my
People
book
just go
Uh,
crazy.
On the soap, Lisa was wondering, how did Tara get the yellow inside the S on the soap?
I love my brother. I hand painted each one. Yeah.
She loves her
He
brother.
owes me big. Well, he's already owed me because he's helped me move like, 10 different
You owe
times.
him, you mean?
So
You owe him.
I
because
owe
she's
him,
moved
I
her.
should say. So this is the least I could
So
do.
Mary's wondering what state is that?
Kansas. Yeah, Kansas. So
That's the
anyway.
only drawback
Oh.
on their house. It's in Kansas.
Do you have a picture of the kitchen? Missy wants to see the kitchen.
Yeah.
And Brenda says, love to sit on the deck.
I
it's so
know,
nice.
it's so pretty.
They've got like 2. They've got a big wooden deck, and then they've got another patio area down just below
So
that.
here's the bedroom. Right there. And then there's the kitchen. Right there. And here's a shot of the dining room. Right
Woohoo.
there.
Still looks the same. Lovely home.
And
Cute house. Very, very nice.
here's a picture kind of the, there's that. And then there was one more picture I was going to show you real quick.
The dog's time to get out.
Let's see.
Mary says, what
can let
state?
him
I
out.
want to move to Kansas.
Let 'em out.
There's a picture of their backyard.
Where in Kansas? People are asking.
It's only 195.
It's in Wichita.
Yeah. So anyway, and if one of our viewers buys it,
You'll
we'll
give
give you
them
a
a
dime
free
on
book?
dime cookbook.
Mary wants to know if it's near Salina.
No.
No, it's in Wichita. It's
It's
about
in
90
Wichita.
miles.
Yeah, it's south.
We go through Salina all the time to get there.
No,
Yeah.
Beth, it's not in Andover. It's probably 10 miles from there.
Yeah.
No.
They're on the opposite side of town from Andover.
Yeah. We were in Andover, but
And we loved it.
We loved Andover. We just didn't like the fact that Andover was in Kansas. Kansas is the problem.
Yeah,
So
the climate is really rugged.
Yeah.
Rough.
well, that's the way I went to go get some goat's milk from a gal that goes to our church, and she lives out in the country here, and I'm like, oh, she has the house I want.
Rebecca wants to know if they're moving near you.
No.
No, they're not.
They're getting a house that's less expensive instead of more, hopefully. So.
Why did you cut off the little slivers of soap?
Because I would have had to cut through the S, so these are going to be samples. These are just unscented. My brother's allergic to all fragrances. My brother's allergic to everything. But I left it unscented for him because wouldn't have that been horrible if I could have...
If you had scented his soap and he would have reacted... Oh.
I'm only kidding. No, that's what he gets for breaking off my tooth.
Oh, yeah, but you started it.
I
She
did not.
mentions that.
No, I did not.
Pace says beautiful soap. Lisa,
Thank you.
Lisa says I ordered soap today. The lilac, so excited.
Yes, the lilac.
That is
This
so
one.
pretty. I wish you guys could see it in person.
I was rather excited. It turned out so good.
do it justice on the camera.
And I am I'm gonna make 2 more floral soaps tomorrow for Mother's Day. I totally spaced Mother's Day is coming up. So I'm gonna try and
thanks.
I know.
Thanks.
So I'm gonna try and get them done. Yeah, what do you want for Mother's Day? I guess I should buy it before you leave. So
Oh, that's right, you should.
So I got the raspberry and lilac up on Etsy though. In the show notes, my link is in there.
Yes, Michael?
Oh, Amanda said he said thank you. He's turning 4. I'm not sure who that's relating to. But
Uh-oh.
yay. Sorry, let me see.
I guess I should be looking at comments.
I forgot where it was. Okay. In regard to what you were saying, Nan, Laurel says a friend of mine always takes a package of toilet paper with the meal when someone passes away, so we don't run out with extra guests.
Yes, my parents do that. They take toilet paper and paper towels.
And Brenda says Kleenex.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kleenex, and that's Kleenex really good. Paper cups, even paper bowls. People never they think of paper plates, but never paper bowls for like cereal in the morning or something, soups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Catherine says there's a Superman museum in Metropolis, Illinois.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
have nothing on my brother. I'm not kidding.
No,
they
you
have
guys
nothing
can't.
on my brother.
I wish I could even begin to describe
Yeah.
everything he has. It's beyond.
I keep telling him he needs to do a YouTube channel, but he
Beyond.
won't listen to me.
His wife and I were packing these up item by item, and it's just like we were both saying, I can't believe he has these. I can't believe they even make these things. So,
He's got everything.
Judy says I consider M&Ms a dietary supplement.
of course.
And Shannon wants to know how did you guys first start to get out of debt? Just looking for some advice.
Stop spending money you don't have. No, what we did, okay, so when Mike and I, when we got married, we had $3,000 in debt from someone overspending in his single years.
She won't point out who.
I won't mention any names, but I'm kidding. But when we got married, I'm like, we are not keeping this debt. So I put everything on 0% credit cards and transferred from one 0% credit card to another until it was gone. Our daughter was born. We had $12,000 of flight for life bills that the insurance refused to cover to save her life. And not knowing that hospitals would work with you, we put that on a credit card. And then we paid off that debt.
At 0% interest.
At 0% interest also. And then we had 2 car crashes and we didn't have a way to get a car, so we put $5,000 for 2 cars on a credit card when we were first married. In 5 years, we paid off $20,000 of debt in 5 years on $22,000 a year income. So what did we do? We did not go out to eat. We did not take vacations. We took every single penny we got extra. Tax refunds, car insurance. There was a car accident. We got a little bit from the car insurance for that. Anytime we got any extra money at all, a garage sale, Mike sold a bunch of things on eBay. Every single penny went on our debt. Then we also cut back every way possible. We had a small 800 square foot house. All of our bills were really low. If you're in a super big house, sell your house and get something you can afford and get your debt paid off. No car payments. We were just talking about this yesterday. If you have a car payment and you paid more than about $2,500 for that car, your finances are not under control. There's no reason for you to have a car payment at all, period. Maybe if you're just super, don't have any money, super down on your luck, kind of like we were. We spent $2,500 on 2 cars, so $5,000 at 2 different times. One died, one got crashed. That was the only car payment we ever had, and those were paid off in 6 months. Car payments are from Satan.
Oh man, they'll eat you alive.
They really are. And we were talking about this yesterday. If you have a car payment, you do not have your finances under control. There's no reason for a car payment, and car payment is why people cannot get out of debt. You just aren't going to if you're always having a car payment. So,
go ahead.
You should pay cash for all your cars, period. Never have a car payment.
That's what you need to do. See,
Yeah.
when I had $35,000 worth of debt, in 5 years I only was earning $12,000 or less. Sometimes it was $7,000 to $12,000 a year, and I paid it off in 5 years. And the thing is, you earned
$1,000 a month.
$1,000 a
Yeah.
month, about. Sometimes it was less. It just depended.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went and I didn't use a credit card. I had to use only the cash I had for that week. You try taking only the cash you earn that week and live off of it. And that's how I did it. And that's the way you're supposed to live, is just with what you have for the week.
But Jessica says, I buy the cheapest car, but it's always in the shop. Even if it's always in the shop, we had a car like that.
Yeah.
Even if it's always in the shop, you are still way ahead. Even if you have to entirely replace the transmission and the engine, which we had to do. We spent $8,000 on a Ford Taurus, had to replace everything in that car.
Wait, somebody else spent it.
No, we did.
Oh,
because your parents bought it for us.
I see, yes.
I would have never bought this car, but his parents bought it for us.
It was in pretty bad
And
shape.
we spent $8,000 over the 5 years on that car, replacing everything, but it was still cheaper than spending $25,000 to $40,000 on having the insurance and tags on top of that.
What people don't realize with these more expensive cars is you usually charge it. That means if you get like a $15,000, let's say $20,000 car, by the time you end up finishing paying, you paid almost $40,000 for that car. But they don't register in their mind that not only are you paying the $40,000 for this car, you also have to pay higher insurance in some cases, higher tags for your car, and all that. Most people pay more for their tags on their cars over a 5-year period than what I do for the car itself with their insurance and their tags. Yes,
You
Michael?
can talk about the Pinterest thing, but now it's almost too late
Oh,
for me to go do it
we
right
forgot our Pinterest giveaway, guys. So
Give me a few minutes to do
Sherry, 2 Family Homestead, we are still waiting on the hospital. We're still arguing over the bill that they double charged us for.
No, we're not. I paid it.
You paid it?
Yeah, because unless we want to go to court and sue them, and
You said she was going to look into it.
she was going to look into it, and they said no. And when I called the Attorney General, they said, yes, thank you. This is really great. We're gonna go ahead and file that. And if a lot of people do it, we'll go against them, but it's not going to help you personally. So if you personally want to get them to take it off, you have to go to court and sue them. And I didn't think it was worth that for $600.
I think it's worth it.
Well,
I got a point to prove. Oh, did you hear that? I will say though, since we paid off our car payments or our 2 cars, we have never had any debt except for our house payment. And we have always purchased a house less than what we can afford. And
Let me say one quick thing too.
Yeah.
Besides the car payment, people can rack up a lot of money on credit cards buying frou-frou stuff that you don't absolutely need. Get it down to food, shelter, the minimum amount of food and shelter, and that type of thing. Don't charge your cards up with this little thing and that little thing and using it because you can get a lot of credit card debt really fast, almost as much as a car payment without realizing it.
And Tina, how did you deal with the last time due to car being in the shop so much? We
Didn't happen
didn't.
very much.
I mean, we really didn't have the the car, even the car that we spent so much money on for 5 years. I didn't ask for your opinion. You're to be back there.
I'm going to give my opinion anyway. Whoa! Nobody knew that was possible. I was
Hold on. But here's the thing. Even if you have to lose work, that is still cheaper than a car payment.
But it's a myth about, I mean, if you get a car that's, if you do a really poor job shopping for a used car,
I was just gonna
you
say
can run into that
yeah.
problem. But the thing is, even with most of our cars, it was only occasionally that we had to take it in.
Yeah.
But when we upgraded from like $2,000 for a car to $3,000 for a car, it almost eliminated that.
But you know, I did the
But
opposite.
we were very careful about shopping though.
When
to
I
make sure
upgraded,
when we
mine
bought it,
got
it wasn't
worse.
leaking oil and leaking fluids and all that kind of
Which
stuff.
is weird, because mine got worse. But the thing is, if you get a lemon that is that bad, you can sell it. Sell the silly thing, because you can usually get at least half or more. Sell it and buy another one.
Yeah.
I can tell right away within the first 6 months if I've bought a lemon and I just up and sell it, you know, and get something else.
They were talking about lemons. What?
Yeah.
Yes, Brenda, we use a credit card for our personal stuff and one for the business, and we pay it off every month, and we never pay any interest on anything.
Yeah.
And we only do that for the convenience of buying it online and stuff.
Aside from our house, we have not paid interest on any cars, any credit cards, nothing since the year 2002.
That's what causes the debt, and people don't understand
Yeah.
that. That's what causes the debt.
And that's how we managed when Michael was laid off 4 times, quit his job. We moved. When the recessions happened, we didn't even know anything happened because
You know, I've
it
been
didn't
through,
bother
I don't know
us.
how many recessions, and I didn't even know I was going through a recession, because when you get your money so much under control, it doesn't matter what else is happening. Yes, Michael?
Missy says after we paid for our cars, we took the car payments and paid toward the house, which was 4 months payment in 1 month, and had the house paid off 12 years early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosemary says she only buys American cats. I think that means cars. Although I have to say, sorry, I said that for a long time too, but since we bought Toyotas,
You like
we're
your
having
Toyotas?
less trouble, a lot less mechanical trouble.
Yeah. We have bought Toyota Camrys for the last 5 cars.
And only one of them is sort of,
3 of them have been crashed, but
they were great until then.
they were great until then, and we have noticed that we don't have as many car problems. So,
That's it.
Jennifer, hello.
And even the one we have, the Toyota that we have, that we made a mistake that we discovered when I was talking about when you buy a car, you should make sure it's not leaking any fluids. If you look in the engine and there's stuff all all nasty and fluidy, sticky on there, or if you open up the fluids and there's no fluids, or the fluids are all low, those are bad signs for the maintenance of the car. And
Do
also,
your research.
the mistake we made this time though was it looked like somebody dumped soda all over the floors, but everything else seemed okay. But that was also a sign that they weren't maintaining it very well. But even that car, it still runs.
Yeah.
It still runs. We haven't had to take it in for any mechanical things. The main thing is that it has annoying problems that we really don't want to deal with, and we'll probably sell it. Like sometimes the door locks won't work, and sometimes the window will get in a spot and then 20 minutes later it'll work fine. And that's not good. But when we were really financially desperate, that wouldn't have been a major catastrophe either.
If the engine is too sterilized, spotless clean, that's not a good sign. If it's too oily and gooky, that's not a good sign. Because they've either cleaned the engine so to hide something sometimes, you know, or if it's too dirty, it's leaking something. And if the carpet's very worn, the seats are extremely worn and shredded, they've not maintained the car. Those are good ways to tell, you know.
I will say, in case anybody's wondering, the car that was a huge lemon was a Ford Taurus. I will never touch one of those again. It was horrible.
Heidi says you're overpaying for Toyotas. I don't know. I spent $3,000 for the one I'm driving now, and we put 100,000 miles on it.
Yeah, I've spent $25,000 on mine.
Mine we spent $3,000 for, put 100,000 miles on it, and we haven't done anything to it except change the oil and air up the tires.
Maybe we need to go to Minnesota to buy a car.
So, well, she says we're overpaying. So I'm thinking that
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we need to go to Minnesota.
What I'm saying is maybe it's more expensive in Minnesota, which is why she thinks
I know. That's what I'm saying. We should go to Minnesota to buy a car.
Where it's twice as expensive as here.
She said we're overpaying. If we're overpaying in Colorado, we should go to Minnesota.
I was thinking she says we're overpaying because when she sees the prices, they're higher in Minnesota. What? Anyway, you can ask her that later.
It's not making
now
any
I'm totally
sense.
confused between both of you. Hey, Buster.
I think I'm right. Sorry.
No, what
Mom
I'm
and Dad
saying
are
is,
fighting.
If you're
What
from
do we do
Boulder
now?
And you say you're
They are
overpaying
fighting.
for a Subaru, that's because people in Boulder pay a million times more for a Subaru. But if you're in Kansas and you say you're paying too much for a Subaru,
They love watching
that
you
means
guys
what you're
fight.
saying.
I'm saying we should go to Minnesota to buy a car. So we're not overpaying
Subarus are
then.
awful. If you get a Subaru,
Now the whole family's fighting.
Heidi, I'm glad you're towards that
Okay,
400,000,
parents,
Heidi.
take note. This is what happens when you argue in front of the children. Then the children start fighting.
Cool. Sorry. Also check for flood
What?
damage, Kathleen says.
Yes, flood damage is a good one.
Denise Ford, the 4-letter F word my dad hates. I know. I won't. Yeah, we won't buy one anymore. Well, that's what I was thinking. Heidi says, don't buy cars in Minnesota because of all the salt. That's what I was wondering. They're all rotted out.
Yeah.
Actually,
And that's another thing to keep in mind. You know, you have to watch out for those rust under there. Take a mechanic or somebody that knows about cars with you, and to help you pick it out and things. So
yeah. Okay, guys, visit us at livingonadime.com. Check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook to help pay for marriage counseling, please.
Wait,
Because Michael's going to be calling tomorrow.
Angela wants to know what's wrong with Kansas.
It's
It's
hot,
just hot
and humid.
The people are nice.
the people are
It's
yeah.
People are
easy-
really
it's-
nice.
It's easy to get around.
Yes.
And it's
you'll-
reasonably priced.
You'll die from the climate if you stay there too long.
The thing is, there's 2 weeks of fall and 2 weeks of spring, and that's it. Then you have hot and humid in the summer, and you have bitterly cold ice pellets in the winter because it doesn't snow when you do get moisture. It's just ice pellets. All the rest of the time it's just cold. And actually, it is colder in Kansas than it is in Colorado. They have actually tracked the weather data, and it's actually colder in Kansas than it is in Colorado.
One gal told me that her grandfather came from Minnesota, northern Minnesota, to Kansas one winter, and he said that he would never bring her grandmother in the winter to Kansas again because it was so much colder in Kansas than Minnesota.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, hey, that's another thing about the used cars. After we drive them for 100,000 miles or more, we sell them for more than we paid.
Yeah,
We do.
we have probably spent a total of about $5,000 or $6,000 total on all of our cars the last 20 years we've been married because we buy them so cheap and then we resell them for the same price or more than we paid for them. Or they've been in an accident and they have given us more money than we actually paid for them in the accident. So we've only probably spent $5,000 to $6,000 on cars total in the last 20 some odd years we've been married. So it's 20 some odd because I don't know how long I'm going to be staying married. So
So
anyway.
you don't want any... What, are you going to free me from my bondage?
Free him from his bondage. Oh no. Oh, you guys are getting deep here.
Applications for Mike's next
Whoa.
wife can be sent to me.
The viewership just doubled. Look at all those hearts flying across the screen. I don't know how quick you're wanting to go, but Mary's asking if we have any money-saving tips on moving across the country.
Oh my goodness, we have a book.
Get rid of stuff.
Yeah,
Lots of
where's
stuff.
we have a book. We actually wrote an
And
ebook
it's really,
on how to
I
save
don't
money
want to brag
moving.
on our own product, but it is really good. We go into details that most people don't
Let's
think
see.
about when they move.
It's
A lot of, and it'll probably help you quite a bit.
It's on the store page.
Oh yeah, go to livingonadime.com. The store, our Moving on a Dime ebook is only $5.95. All our moving tips are in there. I have moved 17 times. Mom has moved who knows how many over the years.
Tons.
And so we have moving down to a science and an art.
to make it easy and stress-free, as stress-free as possible.
Oh, the Pinterest giveaway. Hold on. Forgot the Pinterest
Did you
giveaway.
get the things out of the oven? Somebody was asking.
No,
me.
I didn't. They're probably going to be hockey pucks pretty soon. Okay, Pinterest giveaway. Here we go. Guys, we are doing a Pinterest giveaway every week And
On Friday.
it is on Fridays. Michael put the link on where you can enter. Okay, so here we go. Mom, who's that one?
I don't have my glasses
Oh.
on.
Okay, I have no... Sashina?
Oh, Sashiana. Yeah.
Sashiana? Sashiana!
Yay!
I absolutely love this show. It's very interesting, and I love that you include your family in it. Well,
thank you.
Let me send that to all the people who say, well, this is nothing but a circus. Well, yeah, and these are my monkeys. Okay, I'll get your book sent out on Monday. Good job. You guys can enter as many times as you want, but Mike will put the link. You need to pin one of our recipes or books from our website at livingonadime.com and then email me the pin. Mike will put the link there for you to enter. And every Friday we are doing that. Mike's on a roll tonight. Yeah, we're going to see him rolling tonight.
Jennifer says, great show. If this is your last show before you go home, Jill, have a safe trip. You need
Thank
to be on
you.
the show more.
I'm going to try to be here Monday night, I hope.
Don't
maybe.
encourage her. She's my mother-in-law.
He's going to be real trouble tonight by the time this is over.
It's going to be men's night tonight.
Oh. All right, guys. Visit us at livingonadime.com. We will see you later. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh,
Bye.
Mike needs to shut off the show.
Applications for Mike's new wife can be sent to Living on a Dime, P.O. Box 193, Meade, Colorado, 80542.
Wow, the email boxes are full. Good night.
Goodbye.